Hey everyone, so 4th anniversary for Eve Echoes, and we have ourselves a new nanocore, the Celebration Core. This nanocore is available for battleships, destroyers, and the Magnate of all things. Don't ask me why, I have no idea why they chose the Magnate, just to stand on its own with this nanocore. So I figured for today's video, we're going to have a look at the Celebration Cores and discuss whether or not they're actually any good, if they're any bad, and work our way from there. Now, this will be the first of a series of videos. Hopefully I'll get a few churned out in the coming months, whereby I look at the special nanocores and ask what makes them so special, what makes them so usable, should you get them, should you not? And that's going to be the blueprint for today's video, so if you want videos like that going into the future, then feel free to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments section what nanocore you want me to cover next. So first and foremost, we are looking at the Celebration Core, and we're starting off with the ones for the battleships. Now, if you don't know where to get the Celebration Core, at this point in time, you can only get it from the anniversary shop, whereby you can buy it for 300 aurum for the destroyers, or 1,300 aurum for the faction battleship ones. I don't know why I keep saying aurum instead of AUR. Let me know in the comments section if you know where I've got that from, because I honestly don't know. And the other option for getting a hold of one of these nanocores is by heading to the exchange store and heading down to Interstellar Store, whereby we can get ourselves either the Magnate or the destroyers again. But for now, we're going to head back to regular sales. Regular sales? No, bestseller combo. I'll get it right eventually, let's be honest. So, let's head over to the faction battleships. And the thing that stands out the most with this particular nanocore, and I'll just put this out there at the very beginning for those of you that are wondering if these nanocores work between the old faction battleships and the new faction battleships, it does. You don't have to worry, it's not one of those stupid scenarios whereby the nanocore is the only one that's available for the new ships. No. It works quite tidily like that. But anyway, going back to the main primary attributes, we have plus 11.25% bonus to missile or turret damage against shield, or same again against armour. This is a curious one, because the Bolgorn uses lasers, okay? And let me know in the comment section down below if you ever fit anything other than lasers to your Bolgorn, just completely ignoring all of the Bolgorn's laser bonuses. Because here, you're getting, instead of the usual 18% that we see across any weapon type for most of these nanocores, sometimes even more than 18%, but here instead of 18%, we're getting 11.25%, specifically when you're shooting against armour or shooting against shields. So you're getting less damage buff, and it's more situational. So if you're shooting at a ship that's got a shield tank, soon as the shields are down, you've lost your damage bonus. So if it were me, I'd bump that number up. If you're going to exclude half of a ship's characteristics when you're shooting at it, then you might as well boost, the damage profile even further. So make it, say, 25%. That would make more sense. Now, the only thing that this has got going for it, because I consider this against shield, against armour attribute thing here to be quite a penalty. The only good thing we've got going for this is the fact that it gives you bonus damage to all turrets and all missiles. So if you are one of those people that flies autocannons on your Bolgorn, or missiles on your Bolgorn, or you've considered doing that, then here's an option. Just bear in mind that yes, you are getting 11.25% bonus damage against either shield or armour of your choice. You are losing a lot of your Bolgorn, or Azazel's, I can't pronounce that one, or that other new ship's built-in bonus damage. And let's just have a look at how much we would be losing out if we were to choose to go with this nanocore and not fit a laser, okay? So 18% per level, so times that by 5, we've got what, plus 90% laser damage that you would be losing out on if you were to actually take advantage of this nanocore's primary attribute. It's not worth it, is it? It's not worth it. And this is not exclusive to the Balgorn. So we're going to skip ahead to the Vindicator just to show that it is the same with the Vindicator, missile and turret damage, and the Macarial. You'll notice I've skipped the Rattlesnake. We'll get back to the Rattlesnake in a minute. But having a look at the Macarial as well, missile and turret bonus against shield and armour. Okay? And if we go over to the Rattlesnake, because we know the Rattlesnake's a little bit different, it uses large drones. Here, all drone fighters damage against shield or against armour. Thereabout it's the same again, isn't it? It's about the same. The damage buff might be ever so slightly different in terms of the number. I can't remember numbers that clearly, just rewind 20 seconds if you want to check. But this one's interesting because if I recall, ordinarily, with the Rattlesnake, you only get, and I'm going by memory here, so I'm double checking as I'm talking, you only get damage bonuses to large drones, not all drones. So here you're getting a nanocore that says you get a damage bonus to all of your drones. So, and with drones, you can change them on the fly. You don't have to dock up and change. So if somebody drops in on you, then perfect. You just swap in your large drones, send back out the smaller drones, and the smaller drones will be getting a damage buff. So the Rattlesnake probably benefits the most here, because you can swap out your drones at any given time and they still get something of a damage bonus. But again, that only applies when you're shooting at either the enemy's armour or shield. As soon as you've broken through that, or not even gotten to that, let's say you chose armour and your opponent's shield tanked, you've got to break the shield tank before you get the bonus from the armour. So it's incredibly situational. But if I was to fit this nanocore to any of these 4 ships, it would probably be the Rattlesnake, because at the very least it has a situational use case. But even then, I'm not sure that I would, because why go for that situational use case when you can just have a flat 18% damage bonus to the large drones that you're already using? Because if you're struggling to break the tank, you're probably going to need those large drones anyway. And let's be honest, with all of the skills that are available, with all of the modules that are available, like target painters, stasis webifiers and stuff like that, you could probably light up the smaller targets well enough to be able to semi-reliably hit them with the supercharged damage bonuses of large drones. So I'm very dubious about the nanocore at the moment, and let's have a look at its secondary attributes. I don't know why I clicked out of it so very quickly there. It's easier to click out of things than it is to click back into them, apparently. But let's have a look at the secondary attributes. Is there anything that makes it stand out? For example, we've seen in previous nanocores talk about, say, +1 mid-slot or the Sunchaser jump drive system, which I still really want them to buff and make useful. Come on, please, NetEase, make the Sunchaser useful, please. It is basically like your opportunity to make any ship a Black Ops. Anyway, rant about that over. I've probably managed to find a way to rant about that in every nanocore video, to be honest. But anyway, let's carry on. So, inertia modifier, scan resolution, warp speed. I've gone with the Balgorn because it's the ship I'm most familiar with when it comes to these nanocores. And so far, everything that I'm seeing so far is what I'd expect to see in a Balgorn nanocore. Laser damage, laser tracking speed, laser capacitor usage, armour, inertia, energy Nosferatu and energy neutralizers. Nothing is standing out to me. So far, the only thing that's standing out is this +2 to +4 warp stability. And I wouldn't get a nanocore just for that on the 4th attribute. It's just not worth it. That's a lot of investment just for a +2 or a +4. Most people would just pick a really expensive rig and leave it at that. So, as we can see, even in the secondary attributes, there's nothing all that amazing about this nanocore. And if we head over to have a look at the destroyers, we're not going to be spending much time on the destroyers because it is mostly the same thing all over again. So let's again head over to the Coercer, because I like Amar ships. I like Amar ships. So let's have a look at the coercer. As we can see again, it's the same theme as before. Missile or turret damage against shield or armor of your choice. Again, it gives you that flexibility of choosing between any missile or any turret, but you lose a lot if you actually do move to those. And as we can see, we'll just speed through these ever so quickly. There's nothing big. There's nothing big that stands out here. No Sun Chaser equivalent, let's say. No bonus mid-slots or anything. It is curious because the attributes that I'm seeing pop up right now are what I'd expect to see on the freebie nanocores, the ones that you don't necessarily have to pay for. You know, the things that come with your Concord store points store. I'm really bad with words at the moment. But you know what I mean, like the freebie nanocores. This is what you'd expect to see in them. Not in a nanocore that wants you to spend how much money? 1,000, that's probably 30 quid. I'm pulling a number out of my backside here. That's probably 30 quid. Let's have a look. No, we're talking about £45. Okay. So, would I spend 45 Great British pounds, or probably $50 to $60, I'm guessing at the conversion here, on that nanocore? Probably not. I probably would not be spending that kind of money on that nanocore. So, what we're going to do now, ever so quickly, can I do that? No, I don't have the ship in question to be able to test. Oh, but I might have a spare nanocore. What I'm going to do right now, guys, is I'm just going to scroll down to a Bolgorn nanocore that I may or may not have. I don't actually know if I've got one, but I've got a box just kicking around that I can have a peek in anyway. And all I want to see is that the only nanocore that you can apply to the newer ships? Have NetEase used that as a way of making sure that people actually buy it? Because as we've said, there's nothing particularly special about that nanocore. So let's have a quick look, and this is where we just have a quick look around. Thermomagnetic, here we go, Ascension. That's a good place to start. The Bolgorn Ascension Core. I'll probably be burning this nanocore box at some point just to improve my gold nanocore specs. But anyway, let's have a look. So yeah, we got 18% damage that I was talking about earlier. And as we can see, the Ascension Nanocore, which... yeah, the Ascension Nanocore. This is one of the freebie cores that nobody likes, okay? Because it's basically bright orange and it doesn't really do anything, okay? It gets a lot of stick for being one of the worst nanocores out there. But flat 18% damage bonus to the weapon that the ship is primarily going to be using. It is already better than the nanocore that's in the store at the moment. And if you scroll down, the new ship's there. You can use it. So, would I buy those nanocores in the store? No. Now, if I'm overlooking something bizarre, maybe there's a small print box that I haven't found just hidden away somewhere, let me know if that's the case. But for now, I'm giving this nanocore like a 1 out of 10. I mean, I like the idea of the nanocore. I do like the idea of the nanocore being able to choose whether or not you're great at stripping armor or stripping shields. But that damage buff needs to be higher for that to actually be useful. Because as it stands at the moment, all it is a gimmick. It allows you to get another 11% bonus damage on a gimmick ship, like a rapid missile Bolgorn, for example. It's not going to see any like proper use, so to speak. And before we go any further, let's have a look at the last anniversary celebration nanocore. What is it called? I've already forgotten what the nanocore is called. Was it Celebration? It was Celebration, yes. So, as we alluded to earlier, the Magnate, I was going to say Nanate then, wow. The Magnate is the last ship of the list to get the Celebration Core. Again, why the Magnate? I don't know. Now, is this one worth getting? Well, for starters, you cannot buy it with real money. All you have to do is go into the new event area, the name of which I've forgotten already because I've only been in there twice to get a couple of things that I wanted and to get out again. The Verge of Silence, there we go. If you're curious about the Verge of Silence, just head in there and see what you like doing, what you don't like doing. I personally just ended up mining a ton in there just to get the points that I needed because going AFK wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I just kept getting decloaked every 15 seconds. So, 18% normal cargo hold. Yeah, that's fair. Minimum scan radius and minimum scan... Resonance simulator scan radius. Okay, so we've got scanning bonuses available in case you want to take it for some exploration, and you've got cargo hold capacity. Let's have a look at the secondary attributes. Do they focus on scanning? It does not appear to be so. Here we go. So the third result down, you get your scanning bonuses. I can't be 100% certain here without going through every nanocore in the game, but I am certain that there will be a nanocore whereby you can get those secondary attributes for scanning in either the first or second slot, not the third one. Now, if you want to just collect them all, as it were, then yeah, go ahead and get it. It's not a bad nanocore, this one, if you're using your Magnate either for hauling or scanning and doing exploration sites, especially if you haven't been able to afford an Astero or what's the cruiser one? I should know the name of it by now. I've actually got one tucked away somewhere. But anyway, if you can't afford an Astero or a higher level version, then there's nothing wrong with using a Magnate. And this nanocore, if you want to go do some exploration, there are better ones, but it's perfectly fine as it is. I am not going to complain about that one. I'd give that one a 6 out of 10. If I was to rank the nanocores, considering its use case, I'd probably give that a 6 out of 10. Nothing amazing about it, but it is useful, and there is no reason not to use it if you're going exploring. And as I said, for the new Destroyer Nanocore, the Battleship Nanocore for Celebration, 1 out of 10. It's intriguing, I like the idea, but it's almost completely useless at the moment as far as I can tell. Now, if you do have any successes with it in the future, let me know in the comments section below. And yeah. I don't know what more there is to say about these nanocores. I like the idea, but they need to buff the numbers to actually make them relevant. But anyway, I'm going to cut the video there and cut the rambling. If you want to see more videos about nanocores and what makes them so unique, then let me know in the comments section. Tell me which nanocore that you want, and hit that subscribe button so you do not miss an upload. And until the next video, everyone, fly casual. Get my brew in here.